Hello, everybody. So, after a little bit of organizing and going over the cards that we've chosen, we went ahead and picked out our commander. Our commander will be Lozhan, Dragon's Legacy. Flying, whenever you cast an adventure spell or a dragon spell, Lozhan Dragon Legacy deals damage equal to that spell's mana value to any target that isn't a commander. We also were able to pull out an Ancient Silver Dragon and an Ancient Copper Dragon out of the box as well. So these two cards will be added into our deck. So while we're going about that ourselves, we are going to go off and show what other cards that we've added to the deck itself. We're going to be adding a Coronation of Chaos. Up to 3 target creatures can't block and this turn, and then goad them as well. Inspired Tinkering. Exile the top 3 cards of your library until end of turn. You may play those cards, create a treasure token. Inviscerous Vile Duplication. Create a token that's a copy of a target creature you control, except token has flying and isn't a legendary if the creature is a legendary. So, depending what the situation may come down to, if we end up having to switch over to just hitting people straight across, then we'll just use this to copy a creature that has plenty of attack. If not, my idea is to copy our commander, use its ability as we keep casting out dragons for ourselves to help out, and then just continue to hit somebody. Cone of Cold, just to help out tap out all creatures of my opponents. We ended up getting an Elemancer Simulacrum. For each opponent, you create a token that's a copy of up to 1 target creature that player controls. Use that to go after anybody's board and maybe use their creatures for our advantage. Wand of Wander, great little artifact. It is a 4 cost and it does cost 4 to activate it. Roll a d20. Each opponent exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile an instant or sorcery card, then shuffle the rest into their library. You may cast up to X instants and sorcery spells from among the cards exiled this way without paying their mana cost. People that we normally play with, they don't put themselves in restrictions like we do, where we're stuck using cards that we pull from the box. They'll be using cards from all around. So the benefit for us would be we get the opportunity to use cards that they have. 1 through 9 is X is 1, X is 2 for 10 through 19, and then X is 3 for 20. And then we have ourselves an Ilturu Survivors. It has Trample and Myriad. As long as this creature is attacking, it gets a plus X plus 0, where X is the number of lands defending player controls. We ended up pulling up a Blade Selves out of the box. It has Myriad. It gives the creature Myriad. It costs 2 to put out onto the field and 4 to equip. Road of the Archmagi, or Magi, however you pronounce it. Whenever an equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you draw that many cards. It costs 4 to equip, but if you're equipping to a shaman, warlock, or a wizard, it only costs 1. Gale's Redirection. Exile target spell, then roll a d20 and add that spell's mana value. And then you can cast it exiled for as long as it remains exiled, and you may spend the mana though it were any mana of color. And if you roll 15 and plus, you cast the spell exiled without paying its mana cost for as long as it remains exiled. Kindred Discovery, we're choosing dragons. It helps out, so every time we cast out a dragon onto the field or it attacks, we draw a card. Wizards of Thay, they have Myriad, and benefit is whenever I cast an instant sorcery, it costs 1 less. While I attack, I can use instant sorceries at the same time, and they're going to mimic each other's abilities, so I'll use that to the benefit. I can't really use sorceries unless I get a card that allows me to play sorceries at flash, and I believe I plucked out a card. We'll look that over. Oh, yeah, we can play cast spells as though they had flash, so it's on top of it. Gale Waterdeep Prodigy. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell from your hand, you may cast to 1 target card of the other type from the graveyard. If a spell cast from your graveyard this way would be put into your graveyard, exile instead. Then we have Tomb of Horrors of Adventure. When you cast this creature enters the battlefield, you take the initiative. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, copy it. If you completed a dungeon, you get to copy it twice. Eventually, it'll spin out of control if we're able to maintain all that for ourselves. Now we're going to go into our uncommons. The two-handed axe. It is an adventure spell. What we'll do is cast out for its instance, which is a one colorless and one mountain. Target creature you control gains double strike. We exile and we can cast it for its normal cost, which is 3 from exile, so we don't lose that. But whenever a equipped creature attacks, double its power until end of turn for 2 mana cost. Then we have Goggles of the Night that we pulled. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, scry 1, then draw a card. Oh, actually, we already have 2 of these. We'll substitute it for, I didn't realize it, we'll substitute it for a land, so I'll get that situated real quick. And I believe we have more islands in this deck than we do mountains for mana cost, so we're going to swap it out for an island. Cloak of the Bat. Equipped creature has flying and haste. We're going to need that, especially whenever we cast out these big boys. We need to be able to start swinging out immediately. We also pulled out a Swiftfoot Boot. Hexproof and haste. Lucky enough that we got that. Mystery Key. When an equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, sacrifice Mystery Key, and if you do, draw 3 cards. It's a 3 mana cost to do all that. It does help out. We were able to pull out a Cranial Orb of Dragonkind. Add a mountain. If you spend this mana on a dragon spell, it gains haste until end of turn. Once again, they'll help out casting out some of our dragons. And then we were able to pull out a Lapis Orb of Dragonkind as well. Same kind of aspect, except instead, the dragon creature, you get the scry when you cast it. We pulled an Arcane Signet, a Sky Diamond, a Fire Diamond, a Decanter of Endless Water, no maximum hand size. If we're able to play out our Ancient Silver Dragon and not have it get taken out, then we're able to use its no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. Stone Speaker Crystal, Noble Purse. Whole point of this one is it comes into the battlefield tap, but it has 3 counters on it, and I get to remove a counter on it for a treasure token. It's just to help out with mana. Patar's Seal, add 1 mana of any color, and then if I pay 1, I can untap a legendary creature. We'll have a few of those, and we found a Campfire. Pay 1, gain 2 life. Pay 2, exile Campfire, put all commanders you own from the command zone and from your graveyard into your hand, then shuffle your graveyard. Our commander's already 5 costs. It'll be a good way to cheat him into our hand if we've lost him the first or second time. Don't want to pay. Eventually, it'll be 9 costs to even play him. Now to our commons. We managed to get a Pack Attack. Attacking creatures get a +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the number of players being attacked. This one will be used to just go ahead and swing out at everybody. And if we're able to copy it, then we'll be able to pretty much stomp out somebody real quick, unless someone has fog or some way of countering, making where all damage means nothing. Breath Weapon deals 2 damage to each non-dragon creature. We won't have that problem as often. We have Lightning Bolt, deals 3 damage to any target. We have a Wild Magic Surge, destroy target permanent and opponent controls. Its controller reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a permanent that shares the same card type with that permanent, and they put that onto the battlefield, and the rest of the cards go to the bottom of their library in any order. We have Blur, exile target creature you control, then return that creature to the battlefield under its owner's control. We'll use that to kind of protect our commander and any other creatures that we deem valuable of the field during a time. We don't want to lose things when we need them. Then contact other plane, roll a d20, 1 through 9, draw 2 cards, 10 through 19, scry 2, then draw 2, and then 20, scry 3, draw 3. It is a 4 mana cost, but being able to draw out as many cards as we can, it's worth the gamble, especially whenever we didn't have any cards in this box that gave us an ability to draw. Draconic Lore, it is very expensive. It is a 6 mana drop, but for as long as I have a dragon on my field, this costs 2 less, and I draw 3. So for 4 mana, for 4 mana, I get to draw 3 cards. It's a decent deal, not the best. Run Away Together, it's to get rid of anybody's creatures that I need to worry about. And it's not really get rid of them, it's more put them back in their hands. So be the big boys. I have to choose 2 target creatures from different players. No big deal. It shouldn't be too hard. Dream Fracture. Counter target spell. Its controller draws a card. And the neat thing about the Runaway Together, it doesn't mean opponents. I can choose myself as well. So I can save a creature. And then Dream Fracture. Counter target spell. Its controller draws a card. And I draw a card. It's not really good, but we're going to need some stuff to help out. Counter target spell, which is Bane's contingency. If the spell targets a commander you control, instead counter the spell and scry 2, then draw a card. A nice little counter spell, better than Dream Fracture, but again, not often do we have something that's worthwhile. Now, to kind of cards that we pulled out of our box, and also we have selected cards in our list that we are adding, and they're going to be mainly just normal lands that don't really matter too much, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So we were able to pull a command tower, so we don't have to use this as one of our 10. We pulled a Burnished Heart. It is a very expensive card to just get 2 basic lands onto the battlefield and being tapped, but it's something we're going to have to figure out as we go for mana ramping. We pulled a Drillworks Mole, 1 cost, and it costs 2 to tap it, but you get to put a 1/1 on Drillworks Mole, and then a 1/1 counter on to my commander, which, if you haven't noticed, the commander is a 4/2, so can die by a lightning bolt, so we need to try to beef him up real quick. We have Geode Golem, 5 costs the same as my commander. If I'm able to attack and hit somebody with it, then I don't have to pay my commander taxes just to bring him out. Treasure Keeper, 4 costs. When Treasure Keeper dies, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-land card with mana value 3 or less. You may cast that without paying its mana value. Put all revealed cards not cast this way in the bottom of your library in a random order. It'll help out if we need to get some basic mana rocks out real fast, or if we can pull like a Campfire, as we spoke earlier about, and that's to help get my commander into my hand without paying its taxes as much. Hoarding Ogre, it's to help out gaining more treasure tokens. It's almost the same as a Ancient Copper Dragon. The only difference is with Hoarding Ogre, you only get to make 1 if you hit 1 through 9, versus you can make it 9 if you hit in between there. Create 2, create 3. It's to just get us some mana. Then we have a Young Red Dragon. It's an adventure spell as well. Create a treasure token for 2. It's okay, but being able to cast it out as a dragon for 4 mana cost is going to be the important part for my commander to be able to deal damage. We have a Tiamat's Fanatics, Haste Myriad, 4/3, 5 cost. Reckless Barbarian, it's a 2 cost to bring him out. We can try to have him hit for somebody, but if it comes down to having to sacrifice him, we do get 2 mana back, so it's a free spell really. And then we got Nax Astral Hunter. When it enters the battlefield or another dragon enters the battlefield under your control, create a treasure token. And then we have Liven Cultist Tiamat. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, target creature gets +X/+0, where X is the value of the spell's mana. We were able to pull out a Swashbuckler Extraordinaire. When this guy enters the battlefield, create a treasure token. Whenever I attack, you may sacrifice 1 or more treasure tokens. When you do, I can select however many creatures based off treasure tokens to have double strike until end of turn. We pulled an Amethyst Dragon, another adventure spell, deals 4 damage to, and I can divide it among any number of targets. So if I need to get rid of a Planeswalker or what so, we can do that, or just ding somebody. Has Flying and Haste for 6 mana cost on its own, and it's just 5 mana cost for its ability to just take out something. It's kind of expensive, but just being able to have something that has an adventure spell does help out, because again, our commander, depending on the cost of the adventure spell or the dragon spell, it deals damage based off that. Then we got the Young Blue Dragon itself. Scry 1, draw a card for 2, and then pay 5 and get a 3/3 flying. Not really the best, but again, something to just have out there. And then we got Nimble Claw Adept. Untap 2 other target permanents. Activate only as a sorcery and only once each turn. 4 mana cost to be able to use its ability. be good to use because it doesn't state it has to be a creature, just target permanents. So I can use it for mana rocks like Soul Ring, Stone Speaker, things like that. So I have 4 mana floating again, or at least 4 colorless mana I can use. Then we have Dragonborn Looter. It's cost 2, but pay 1 to draw a card and discard a card. And then we got a Renari Merchant of Marvels. So you may cast dragon spells and artifact spells as though they had flash. 4 cost for a 2/4. And then we have a Sapphire Dragon. Counter target non-creature spell for the 3 as an instant. And then when I pay for the 7, flying whenever Sapphire Dragon attacks or blocks, strike 2, 5, 6. It's an okay card, but again, not the important thing. The more important thing is it's an adventure spell that I can use. Then we have Moonshade Pixie. Untap 3 target creatures gain up to 3 target creatures gain flying until end of turn for 2, and then I can pay for its actual cost. And it has the ability when it enters the battlefield, draw cards equal to the number of opponents who were dealt damage this turn. Sailor's Bane, Dragon Turtle, 9 cost, very expensive, but this spell costs 1 less to cast for each card you own in exile and in your graveyard. That's an instant card, a sorcery card, or a card that has an adventure and it has Ward 4. Big boy comes out, and again, I don't have to pay the cost to be able to use whatever the cost of mana is to make him deal 9 damage just for free. And then we have Juvenile Mist Dragon. We're able to pull that out. Great way to tap out somebody's creatures and they can't untap until their next untap step, so they lose a turn with it. So once again, those are cards that we were able to pull out. And then these are the 10 cards that we've allocated for ourselves. So Temple of Epiphany, Temple of the False God, Swiftwater Cliffs, Izzet's Boiler Works. Not really the best land, but at least it's something that can help us out. We add a Soul Ring and a Command Sphere. Not really 10 cards that we've added, but you know, when we don't have much to have to worry about, this set does give us enough, and there's a lot of lands that are kind of expensive to have to play around with. We are going to be running with, and as you've seen as we edit our deck as we're going, 15 Mountain, and we're also adding to the deck 16 Islands to round up to the 100. So this is kind of our deck build for our commander. Once again, we're doing a Dragon Tribal with the ability to deal damage as we cast them out, and also using the adventure spells to deal damage to people. Our commander's not really meant to deal damage, but if we can at least beef him up and keep him from dying, we can at least use his ability for as long as we can. And we have cards in here to help us get our commander out for free, and also have our commander be a little more cost effective versus paying for its mana cost whenever it gets taken out the first 2 times. Most likely will be taken out. It is going to be a slow commander, so we're just hoping to pull out our mana rocks and be able to ramp out real fast for our cards, and that's why we have other cards such as like Ancient Copper Dragon in the deck, even though it costs 1 more than our commander. Being able to have multiple uh, treasure tokens help out, especially when we have Blade Selves. We can put it on him, and it'll swing out 2 more dragons at other people. Benefit is, as long as they deal damage, we get to reap the benefits of rolling a die for multiple treasures. I appreciate you all coming out, watching this video, and seeing how the deck was built up. Hopefully it turns out pretty good for us to play around with. I know we built Quasar, and we've already built a deck from the what's it called, Kamigawa set, and that one was okay. It actually did something, but not so much. Quasar, first game with it wasn't the best. Second game with it actually turned out pretty well. We just modified it just a little bit, but not so much, and actually got the stomp face with it for a little bit. Other than that, I appreciate y'all coming in and watching this video. Hopefully we get to see a battle pretty soon. Other than that, y'all take care and have a wonderful day.